Gentlemen, let us begin. So, gentlemen, welcome back. This week's episode of Dungeons and Dragons, where we are all in the Feywild. But first, we'll have a bit of a recap. So, last we left off, you all met up in the capital, the Guardian's Manor. After inquiring with Dr. Mears to the condition of Felix's family, after their afflictions from the place of Tiamat, you headed off to find a way to the Feywild. First, you went to the councilman of the natural world, Halloween Grandwind, who told you that Alfwin at the last spell might have a plane shifting rod you could use. Heading to the last spell, you convinced Alfwin to give you the rod if you gave him a deposit of some gold. You also bought a rod of alertness and some healing potions to take with you. Finally, you were ready to head to the Feywild, and after teleporting there, you appeared in a large forest with strange trees that made a musical note as the wind passed through their strange-shaped trunks. You all also had some magical changes. Felix and Kaiman smelt strongly of lavender and seemed to secrete a strange dust as they moved. Galahad's hair grew 10 times as long, and Griffin and Damien's ears changed to that of rabbits. Due to this magical nature of the plane and your unmagical bodies, it seems the plane is changing you, possibly permanently, if you stay here too long. After using Griffin's Raven Familiar, you decided to head west first to check out a small fire in the woods, and when you arrived, you saw an elven woman by the name of Red cooking some meat over a fire she made in a tree. She seemed intrigued and very rude about your nature, calling you round ears, and immediately got worried when you brought up Killian. She told you that recently Killian was removed from his position of Archfey of the Singing Valley, and a being called the Mother took his place. She told you that according to legend, the Mother grew the Singing Valley herself many thousands of years ago, and has reclaimed a place as its overseer. It seems she wants all non-natural beings out of the Singing Valley, and she's slowly evicting all these creatures out of the Singing Valley that have come here while Killian was in the park. After she left with the body of the treant, you went to investigate the other sight Griffin saw with his raven, a strange glow in the forest that Red told you was a pixie village, so we're more familiar and friendly with Killian. On the way there, however, you found something with what? Rabbit folk. Small antler crown and green cape, named Alfie Vitherlix. He was able to tell you a bit more about the mother. It seems she has some children known as the Trumpets, who are sort of like their enforcers, and they protect the mother's home of the Chorus Grove in the heart of Singing Valley. You inquired about Killian to Alfie, and he said he could take you to where he is currently hiding. Doing so, pay back a favour he owed to Killian. Before you left, you did inquire about your names, and once Galahad gave his, you all seemed to forget what his name was. This little prank was short-lived, however. After realizing you didn't like his pranks, Alfie promised not to prank you anymore. Finally, off to go see Killian the Shifter. Now, you will begin your travel through the Feywild. It is a fairly long journey, he does tell you, several hours to where Killian is hiding. The Singing Valley is a very large place after all. But you should make it by the end of the day, he said. And you can all sort of sit, but just walk at a fairly leisurely pace, given Alfie's small height, and take in the sights, sounds, and smells of the Singing Vale. You hear the wind sort of blow through many of the trees and things like that, and you can hear this almost musical melody sort of passing through the trees. You do see a couple of trees that have these strange, almost reddish, almost like metal trunks, and the leaves on them are almost metal as well. And they have these little bells in the leaves, and as the wind passes through them, it's almost like bells sort of ringing, like lots and lots of bells of, like little bell tambourine type things, of those like ringing as well, with the tune of this like ooh, 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 the wind passing through the valley. You see several strange sights as well, I would probably say, as you're passing through this space. You see what looks like a group of slight humanoids, like packing up their things. You can see like this small family of them, like a seemingly father, mother, and like two smaller children exiting a home they have built into like this large rock. This father figure seems to shut the door, and as he sees you coming, he immediately leaps, or him and his whole family leaps behind the rock, and begins like, hey, it's okay. They will leave, and then we can go. All right? And you can hear this slight whimpering, and the mother says, "Don't worry, we'll be back here one day. It's all right. We'll come back home one day, maybe." And as you guys pass on, they begin to leave. You do soon, within the first hour, get to a point where you see these large purple, almost like amethyst crystals grow out of the ground. They are in sort of perfect, I think perfect. They're in strange, sort of like triangular shapes growing out of the ground, almost like triangular pyramids growing out of the ground. Some of them grow straight and tall, some of them grow at angles, some of them are shorter, some of them are wider at the base. Um, and you begin to see these strange sort of crystal formations growing out of the ground. And every now and again, Alfie sort of bounces up onto one of them and just sort of like tries to knock the end off with a like, small rock or something he's found, or maybe a medallion from his neck. He just tries to knock the end off and punch that he has, and then bounces away. And then he does eventually begin to speak to you. He begins to say, "So, I've heard, right, this is just speculation. Tell me if I'm being stupid, but I've heard that for like half the bloody day in your world, I guess, everything just goes fucking dark. Like the sun goes away, this weird white rock flies up into the sky, and everything's pitch black and you can't see nothing. It's true. They say about your world."
It is indeed true. Does that not happen here?
Oh, but they just go dark, like pitch black for half the day. That just makes no sense. Where does the sun go?
How do you sleep?
Well, the sunlight goes down a little bit and it creates shade, and sky goes all beautiful and gold, and it sort of stays like that for a while, and then it comes back up and goes the other way around. You just fucking sleep. You put something over your eyes if you don't like the light.
Well, imagine that, but imagine the sun went a bit lower.
A bit lower.
Yeah, below the horizon.
I see. That's a very weird concept. Then I guess people on the other side. Well, that's just very strange. I don't like the sound of your world by the sound of it. It's just fucking dark. And then you've got this weird rock that sort of flies up into the sky.
The moon.
The moon.
Okay.
Now, the moon's a woman. The moon's not a rock.
Why can't it be both?
Because one of them's a rock,
Hmm?
and one of them is a woman.
Yeah, but two different things can have the same
You're a
name,
rabbit
can't they?
and you're a human.
I'm not a rabbit and a human. I'm a herring god. You, I could say, are like a crocodile and a human, but you're not. You're some weird thing.
Racist. Which woman are you referring to called Moon?
She's called Freak. Here, she's like an archfey of beauty and majesty and all sorts of stuff. She wears white robes, and people pray to her when the sun goes down to the horizon. We call that sundown. And yeah, it's all rather nice. I think she's a little up herself, if I'm honest. I mean, archfey of beauty. Beauty's subjective, isn't it? Can't be a fucking archfey of beauty.
Big
It's
words,
fucking
little
weird.
man.
And her
I
name
see.
is Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, her name's Frigga, but also Moon. Frigga Moon. Her title is the Moon. Her name is Frigga.
What does the title of the moon grant you?
What's just her like title? Like Dark Fade title. Like Mother is called the Mother, but I'm sure she probably has a name. She probably wasn't born. And someone's like, I'm gonna call this little baby the Mother. You know, probably some kind of weird name.
So you think names are typically based on existing things sometimes, aren't they? Titles and such.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. So do you not think her
Like
name is
Moon.
based on the moon in our world?
But moon's such a weird word. Moon.
What about
Moon.
Sun?
See, sun makes sense because it's that thing. Sun.
Right.
It
Well,
makes.
imagine that thing, but smaller and white rather than yellow and made of rock. Moon.
Oh, mate, your world just sounds very complicated. I mean, can you all like see in the dark then? Is that it?
No.
Some of us can see better than others.
You said no. Some of you could. Oh, your world just sounds fucking weird, man. And he bounces off. A little sort of. At first, he's almost like trying to make sense of it in his mind, and then he begins to just find it funny. He's like, moon. He's just pounding along.
I
Some
don't
of
know
you
about this
guys.
guy, Griffin.
No, I think he might have eaten a few many Feywild carrots.
Nyeh. um, yeah, some of you guys said last time you were going to keep a particular eye on him after the prank. Who was going to be doing things like that?
I think Felix will be very wary.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you want, you can make a perception or an insight check. Either or would sort of work for something like this.
Yeah. I'll make a perception check.
Yeah, true. 20. So, yeah, as you're watching him, he's definitely very cautious not for you guys not to get too close. He doesn't get far away. That's not to say he gets far away. But he keeps his distance, at least sort of 15, 20 feet from your group. If sometimes he'll slow down and wait up for you and then realize you're getting a little bit close. So he'll do his weird trick where he just it did nothing and then reappears somewhere else and very much a misty step. And he'll sort of like keep ahead of you. But also, yeah, when he does sometimes realize that, oh, I can check how far they are behind me, or they're lagging behind a little bit. He'll make sure to wait. So he tries to keep that equal distance, which is maybe a little strange, but you're not entirely sure. But otherwise, he definitely seems like a thing that's just got way too much energy. He's very curious, and
They've got ADHD in the Feywild.
yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's actually a pretty good way of looking at it. Like sometimes he'll like get a little far away and see something really pretty, and that's when he'll stop and sort of look at it, or make some random weird comment or some stupid joke that you guys don't understand because you're not from here. And then he'll realize, oh, they're getting a bit close to me. I'll bounce off ahead, or I'll misty step ahead, or whatever. And that's definitely mostly sort of demeanor you get from this guy. It's very very strange.
It is the sense that he doesn't want to be close to us, not that he's just like sort of like ADHD and like full of energy and just wants to keep going and is sort of just like constantly like moving around.
Yeah, I'd probably say it's a mix of the two. There, you definitely get the sense that he doesn't want to be too close to you, but you also get the sense that he is just full of energy and wants to bound off and continue going forward. It's a mix of the two, just both, I would say. As you're continuing onwards, you do get to a space where these large crystals, sort of a lot of them convene in this large sort of plump. And it's not like it's like this large area, almost like a large clearing filled with lots of these crystals. And he sort of stopped and he's like, wow, hold up, gotta go around this now. He starts bounding around it. But I'm going to give you all a little bit of a warning. If you see anything like this, anything big clumps of these things, don't go anywhere fucking near it, mate.
Why?
Well, these crystals are like magic. Not that they are magical, like they are. The Feywild is literally really bloody magical. And sometimes that magic coalesces and compresses into these weird crystals. And they look very pretty. And the high fae really like them, particularly the blue and the red ones. What we're seeing here are purple. Purple ones are very normal and generally not very harmful unless they're in big clumps like that. When they're in big clumps like that, sometimes all that resonance can come together and form something alive, curious, and often very aggressive, like a big crystal walking around man. Very strange. If you find a blue or a purple one, though, so purple are the common. If you find a blue or a red one, though, pick up that shit, grind it down, give it a good, and that's some good stuff. Some magical mumbo jumbo you got going on there that'll restore your magical resonance
Question.
or give you some powerful magical stuff.
Why don't you just do that with purple?
Because purple is like common. Purple is like blue and red are like super pure versions of this. Purple is like common and very impure. The more blue or the more red a crystal is, the more pure it is. You'll find the high fae and things grinding these things up. Mostly they, put them in potions and you can drink them and then it'll restore magical energy or enhance your magical abilities or whatever.
The purples are still a collection of.
Yes,
magical
purples are
energy.
still a collection of magical energy. It's just tainted by the ground and the roots and everything else that's around and the natural environment. Whereas blue and red are basically what he's saying is, yeah, purple is like nothing. You'll find these quite commonly. If you see big clumps of them, that is possibly the hive of what is called a crystal golem. If you find blue ones, you can chip off the end, dust it, like grind it up, and either make a potion out of it, snort it, and or ingest it in some fashion. Blue ones will give you back spell slots. Red ones will give you bonuses to your spell save DC. So, like, if you were to find a really pure red one, you could get a +3 to your spell save DC, +3 to all attempts for a certain amount of time. Or if you found a blue one, like a really pure blue one, you could get, like 2 unknown spells. Very, very powerful arcane stuff. But he does obviously go on to say that, much like some other crystals that are in our world, these can have addictive and very drastic effects to your health, and very detrimental effects to your health. He mentions crystals can begin to grow inside of you, and eventually these crystals will grow in your bones, and moving and everything to do with your bones becomes extremely painful. So don't fuck with crystals, mate. Anyway, off we bloody go. Gonna go around, and it doesn't take you very long to go around at all. This clump is about half the size of a football pitch, so you just go simply around it, and nothing really bothers you too much. You travel for maybe about 3 hours, and the sun you do begin to see is starting to come down. The sky is starting to go a sort of pinky color, I guess you could say. It's starting to transform into what equals sundown, but is, I guess, nighttime. Can I get everyone to make a perception check?
As we're going along, then if there's a small amount of purple, can I pick it up?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, like, they're fairly common. Like, every 10 minutes of walking, you'll see like one crystal jutting out of the ground. So you can just, crack off a little end piece, and that's fine. You can pick it up, put it in your bag. So, Timon, you are walking around and suddenly you begin to hear something. You begin to hear the sound of giggling to your left off somewhere. It's this sound of giggling, but in a very sort of high pitched voice, like. And you hear the sort of whimpering sounds of what sounds to you like a dog. Suddenly there is this crackle of sort of arcane noise, which I think, Felix, you would just about pick up on. You wouldn't hear any of this giggling, but you would hear this faint crackle in the distance. And then, Kaiman, with your sound, you can hear the sound of this dog whimpering even louder, as if some dog has been hit by something. Some dog has suddenly been in pain by something. What would you like to do?
Sounds like a wintered a dog over there.
Cohen, what's happened to your voice?
I'm trying something.
Is this a Feywild feature?
The powder that keeps coming off of me is in my throat.
This is what Cohen sounds like on a with a cold, with allergies.
The bread I'm eating is really dry.
Is there anything you would like to do upon hearing something? Kaiman's told you he's heard it.
Has he relayed it? I think. Or should we go investigate?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Darcy, it is.
Alfie sort of, as you begin sort of like veering off the path towards this thing, Alfie sort of turns, oh, you're goody two shoes. All right, fine. He begins sort of like hopping after you, still maintaining that distance, but now behind you as you travel off the way. And you eventually, as this sound is sort of ringing in your ears, Kaiman, you eventually sort of veer off the path and you come to a small pond. It's like this large clearing pond just in the vicinity. And just to the right of this pond, you see against a tree is this large dog. It's almost like a mix between like an Australian dingo and a box. Sort of like a large box dog. It's got like very light brown fur. But this light brown fur does have specks of red over it, where this creature has been hurt. And you can see, in fact, what seems to be hurting it. There are 5 floating or flying creatures, very, very small creatures, maybe only a foot in height, all around this dog. This dog's definitely backed up and like baying, like scared, into the nook of this like large tree on the other side of the pond. And you can see these 5 flying little creatures with little glass shards for wings, purple skin, pointed ears, each of them wearing like little armor, pointing these tiny little spears. This dog, and they're giggling to each other. You can see that's where this giggling is coming from, and now you can all see it, and you can all hear this little like
It's fucking pixies.
and it sounds, well, they're not, you heard pixies, they had a glow. These don't seem to have a kind of glow on them. They are.
So what are these
I mean,
things?
They look like fairies.
Okay.
Pixies are
Fucking
very,
fairies.
very different things. Sort of. Kind of.
What is? Are they hunting? What is?
I would imagine so. That dog could probably feed those guys for like a week. Probably more. I think. I mean, I don't know.
Will they stop if we ask politely?
Your kiss is as good as mine. They say that fairies are fairies are a bit of everything. Some fairies are nice and bubbly and everything like that, but some of them are. I've dealt with some real bastard fairies, let me tell you. Little shits.
Okay, let's try and do this diplomatically first. I'll shout stop.
You shout stop. You see several of them turn around and they point over to you with their spears, and like 2 of them are still looking at the dog, but 3 others sort of turn around and they look at you and then they look at each other. They start folding over their ears. Almost in the 3 of you. It's like,
Minion vibes.
Yeah, they're kind of they're definitely laughing quite hard now at you, and the 2 that are near the dog are slowly beginning to close in. It gives a bark, a very faint, kind of tired bark towards these things, but they don't seem deterred by it at all, pretty much.
So how far are we from the 2 that are approaching the dog?
You guys are about over 60 feet. A little over 60 feet.
You sure we want to get involved here? Like, if we're just hunting.
It seems like it's for fun more than sport necessarily, or they're taking some sadistic pleasure in it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, and who doesn't love a dog?
One of these things throws a spear
Yeah.
into the flank of the dog, and it sort of like falls on one leg, and they all just begin in like uproarious howling laugh, like.
I'll try and get between them and the dog.
So you take off, just dashing forwards towards them.
Galahad follows.
Yeah.
Where Griffin goes, I will go.
Well, you'll watch as these things begin to turn around as you guys are coming close. And I think on that point, we will roll some initiative. As I will put you guys on this yonder.
Oh,
You can also see on this pond, there are there are these small sort of mushrooms. And as you run past, actually, we'll get to that on your turn. As we'll probably deal with you running towards them on your turn as you guys are pushing forwards. As 3 of them were looking at. There's going to be 1 more of them.
How far would Galahad and I have got?
I would say as you guys were looking to get closer, I'll say you guys are probably around sort of here. I'll say you've avoided these things so far.
What, the mushrooms?
Yeah, so far you haven't got too close to them. They're these large purplish like mushrooms. Alfie, if you imagine Alfie, he's like, you definitely get the vibes he's gonna sit back and stay out. He's like sat on this large like log thing over here.
I'll take a rest.
I'll take a rest. Can't be asked with this. Can't be asked with all this nonsense. Sounds like a lot of effort and just a dog. Right. So the initiative orders. So far we have who's that?
Oy.
Oh, this is amazing.
Mr. Car Griffin.
You rolled on that one too, I'll point out.
But mine that one was higher.
That's true.
So far we have Felix top with well, technically, Damien goes after you, Griffin, to make things easier. Not Griffin, Galahad.
Yeah.
He knows who the real top dog is.
Then we have Galahad, Griffin. Can I get an initiative from you, Kaiman?
Oh my goodness.
Hey, there we go. Kaiman. Gotcha.
I was born ready.
Kaiman heard dying animal, and at first he thought food, but then he went save. Right. So with the initiative order just up there. So Kaiman, you are first. What would you like to do?
I wonder if I can. My things.
Also, as well, this pond definitely seems quite deep, and you can't really see much of what's inside, as it seems to have this sort of glittery substance within it. It's definitely not, at least not pure water, in this pond, as far as I can see. Yes. What goes?
I will move. 5. I'll move to here.
In order to get
Hmm.
there, are you going within 5 feet of one of these large mushrooms?
I was here. I'm going. No. Here. Crossing here.
Okay.
Is that not?
No, that's allowed.
Yeah, no, because then I made it that way. And then range. A little sacred flame on the closest boy.
Well, Sacred Flame on the closest boy. It needs to roll.
Oh yeah, I'll do that.
That, my good sir, is I can't tell if that's a 7 or no, that's a 7. That's a 7 plus 2. That's a 9 that fails. Sadly, 16. Yeah, this you stretch out your hand, these flame sort of lights from above, and this thing just burns up immediately.
God damn.
Immediately, all the other ones just go, and they definitely look like they would probably be flying away. But they are screaming now very, very loud. Very, very loudly for such small teams.
Very fries.
Next up, we have actually them. So after seeing the immediate death of one of their companions and 5 much larger creatures coming in, they are going to run the fuck away. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So this top guy's out of here. These 2 are getting out of here. And this guy just flies off into the forest to the right. So these things just immediately flee upon watching you guys charge towards. But then, so they were at initiative count 17. So at initiative count 15, you all see something in the pond. Very, very suddenly, as you're charging forward in your very, very heavy armor, and these things making quite a lot of noise, 2 very large or huge creatures erupt from the waters.
But my heavy armor is meant to.
Yes,
not
your heavy armor is quite light, but you weren't running there stealthily. These little fairy things like screaming their heads off.
You also
Uh,
forgot about the clankers behind you.
yeah, 2 people in heavy armor are also running over, and you see these 2 huge, almost frog-like creatures emerge from the water. They each have 3 tentacles instead of arms on each side. They have this strange sort of eyes that sort of emerges from the top of their head, and there's 3 sort of eyes on top of this strange like stalk that sticks up from the head, and they have this tongue that's almost as long as the tentacles they have for arms that just sort of flays about, and they sort of emerge like, as these things emerge, and they almost rise from the water, looking around, and eventually their eyes meet all of you, and you can see this large tongue as they seem quite hungry for some dinner. So on their turn, they've used half their movement to emerge from the pond, so still get 5, 10, 15. Yes, this one gets to move. Well, that's not quite in a space. But this one gets to move there. This one gets to move 5, 10, 15 down towards here. And this one's probably... No, that one's not going to take its dash. So this one is going to make 3 attacks. Can it reach 5, 10, 15, 20? Yeah. So it's going to make 2 attacks against Kaiman, 1 attack against Griffin, I think.
So you are approaching me.
It is indeed approaching you. As it's got these really long tentacles that can slap out. So these dice so far have not been my friend. So that's an 18 on the first hit for you, Kaiman, which misses. The second is a 24.
Shield.
That's against Kaiman.
Oh, okay.
So Kaiman, do you want a shield? Do you want to use your free shield for the day?
Damn right.
Yeah. Awesome. What does it look like when Kaiman casts shield and this magical shield appears?
It's extra scales. So just lots of.
Yeah, like that. You raise your shield and suddenly, like, this extra layer of scales and everything just forms over you as this tentacle just slams down on your head.
Rainbowy.
And Griffin, for you, it's going to it's just gonna do that. For you, that's a 23. Hit you, Griffin.
Shield.
Shield. Again, this tentacle slams down upon you and sadly misses. I need to look up its dead blow something, as doesn't say it needs to be grappled. So what it's going to do in that case then is, after failing to hit you with its 3 tentacles, it then looks towards Kaiman's bigger. Then looks towards you, Kaiman. Its mouth opens and its tongue stretches out, wraps around you, as it's like, its tongue stretches out, wraps all around, like even your shield, your waist, your everything, tries to pull you toward it. Can you make me a strength saving? 13 is sadly not enough, as you are pulled to within 5 feet of it. Because you failed that strength saving throw as a bonus action, and now gets to make a bite attack. Which is a plus, right?
Now I am in bonking range. My plan is success.
You're also near the water, though.
I'm a little bit in the water.
That's true, actually. He is good in the water.
He is good in the water. So that's a 27 to hit you, Kaiman.
This is my home now. 17?
So yeah, 27 to hit you. I think with your with your shield, that makes your AC 27, which means that's a hit. So you will watch as this thing with its tongue wraps around Kaiman, pulls him in, and then it bites him, lifts him into the air, and then Kaiman falls into this creature's gullet. Kaiman, you are now swallowed by this creature.
I got it right where I want a voice. This is easy.
Oh,
That's
how
why
the
it has-
tables return, Kaiman. You're the snack now.
Yes. So, whilst a swallowed creature is blinded and restrained, has total cover against attacks and other effects outside the ancient froghemoth. I'll have to tell you the name of it now because it's going to be important. And you will take some damage at the start of each of its turns as its stomach acid begins to digest you. On your turn, you can still attack and do things to try and break out if you would so wish. But we'll get to that at the start. You've all watched this massive thing essentially lap up Kaiman and eat him.
quick question.
Yes.
So what would happen if I made a wall of fire inside of a creature?
Well, you would definitely take the damage of the wall of fire.
But it would be worth it,
Yeah,
right?
you got plenty of healers nearby.
Yeah.
You can only make a wall of fire up to a space that you can see. So it would be a very, very small wall of fire.
Puny.
But you could certainly try.
Was that all
Pick it
from one
up.
creature, all those actions?
That was all from one creature. Yes, it gets 3 attacks, its tentacles, its tongue. If the creature fails against its tongue, it gets to make a bite action as a bonus action.
Good action economy.
God love the Feywild.
The other one begins swimming towards you guys, and as it does, you begin to hear it starts to sing. Have you ever heard that like Mongolian throat singing? Yeah. You just begin hearing this.
Oh my god, the bass on that. Did you sing or burp?
Yeah, imagine that, but just this creature going, and this sound begins to ring in all of your minds as it's pushing forward. Can I get, I think, just about 5, 10, 15, 20, yes, just about every to make me a wisdom saving throw, please. This is against magic, so Felix, you would have a done.
What? Advantage.
Advantage. Right, so Griffin, you are fine. Galahad and Felix, however, you guys begin to hear this music.
Would they both get plus?
Oh
I'd
yes,
say,
they would. They would.
What's
Not,
what
not
the
Galahad.
bonuses in this?
What?
One of the paladin. So who's got the higher charisma? You or Galahad?
Is that even a question?
I've got +3 charisma.
Or +4?
Right. So Galahad, you now pass. Griffin, Felix, you still fail. Sadly.
Hang on, what?
So Felix fails. Galahad now passes.
So Galahad gets a.
Galahad gets +4.
No, but he's already got his own bonus, hasn't he? Or is that not how it works?
Oh no! Do
Yeah.
not. Oh, no, do you not? Oh, is your own bonus? Sorry, because obviously you're a paladin. I thought you were proficient in these, but no, that includes your bonus. So Galahad, you still fail, and Felix, you still
What's
fail.
the save?
The save DC is 18. These are
Oh, Jesus
these
Christ.
are these are very ancient creatures. And you two sort of begin to sort of feel this music go into your mind, and you begin to feel very, very woozy. And suddenly, you fall asleep.
You having a laugh?
Onto the floor. It's a once a day thing it can do, but it seems somewhat effective in this moment. So you are both unconscious for a minute. You can be awoken from your slumber if a creature takes an action to wake you up, or if you take any damage.
Wow.
Great.
Demo part of that, or no? It's
Damo is
He's further back though, isn't he?
15, 20, 25. Damien is just out of range, I think.
that's good.
Yeah, Damien is literally 5 feet out of range.
Thank fuck for Damien.
Simon, from inside this thing, you can suddenly just hear this, but you can't, like, this effect doesn't seem to affect you from inside here. Cool. So now we go to Felix. You are asleep. Galahad. You are asleep. Griffin.
What about Damien?
Damien. Apologies, Damien. What would Damien like to do?
He's going to
I wonder what Damien's going to do.
1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to run over and try and wake up Galahad.
Yeah, he just needs to use his action to sort of like get down on his knees. Like, Galahad, problem. Starts like really like shaking your armor. And yes, as his action, you are suddenly awakened from your slumber. You feel very, very groggy as you wake up, but you are now awake. Cool. Griffin, what would you like to do?
I'm going to go over here and backhand Felix and say, it's not the time for naps, old man.
Yeah, easily turn his body over.
Yeah.
Give him a backhand. Are you like taking an attack action to hit
No,
him?
he's a friend.
Yes. Yes.
He's a friend. It's
yes.
Okay.
just smart.
Okay.
I'd have hit Galahad if that was
Oh,
the choice.
boo.
I mean, obviously, if you did take the attack action to like slap him, you could then still make one more attack.
No, it's okay.
Okay, cool. So you slap Felix awake a little bit. Felix, you're on the ground, and you suddenly begin to wake up. This sound reverberating in your ears, but
And then,
thankfully you are awake.
I'll just give him a little kiss on the forehead and just say, it's all love, baby. And then
It's all here.
it's all here.
Wait, no,
It's all-
What did you say? What did you say? Your wife's name?
yeah.
Oh, right. Are you and Ben going to flirt again? Or?
If you are, can I just go on a break now?
You should have seen us RP in his time at home. Ooh. Boy, oh boy.
That's enough of that. Right.
Yes. Any bonus actions? Any more movement?
Yeah, I will. Wiccans first. It's been a hot minute since I played Felix.
Griffin.
That has been a
me.
while.
That's the one. Yeah, Jesus. It's been a hot minute since I played Felix.
Figured a little bit of combat to get you guys into your characters again was possibly
I
needed.
can't wait for the inevitable body switching episode where Griffin does play Felix.
Yeah, I will spend 2 sorcery points to cast as a bonus action. I will cast. Let's just go for like a fireball in between both of them.
Fireball in between both of them. All right, they both need to make dexterity saving throws. Which they
Oh, 31.
fuck 31 damage. That's pretty good. Dex saving throws. That is a natural 16 on the dice, I think. Oh, these dice are really hard to like see what the numbers are. I think that's a 16. You guys can't see that.
Can't.
Yeah, can't see it because you held it up for half a second.
So they have +1, 17. So one of them passed. The other one got an actual 1. So the other one fails. One takes 31 points of damage. And the other one takes 15 points of damage. As this fireball erupts and you just hear them both suddenly go really, really high.
Is that not that I'm willing damage upon the young croc, but does Kyman take any of that? Or
Simon does not take any damage. He
there we
seems
go.
to
That's
be
good.
inside this thing's gullet. He seems to be pretty safe. Carmen, you do see a bright flash of red outside this.
The humidity reminds me of home.
It's hot and wet inside there. It's just that's Carmen's hometown.
It's lovely.
Is it lovely?
Cool. So that is these creatures.
I'll just move up. I'll look at Galahad, and well, I look at everyone else and just say, maybe one of you come help me get the croc, but other two deal with that one, and then I'll go 5, 10, 15, 20. Go. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Climate, your turn once more, and at the very beginning of your turn, you will take some damage from being inside this thing's stomach. So that's 11. Oh God, I'm so sorry.
Have I taken any damage so far?
26. 28. So you take 26 points of acid damage from being inside this thing's stomach. Start of your turn. But it is now your turn. What would you like to do? I rolled 2 8s on the D8 for that one. That's an outrageously high score. It's one of those other numbers.
Where is it?
Being inside this thing's gullet, you definitely get the sense that. Well, I'll tell you essentially how swallowed works. We haven't actually done it on in this campaign so far, even though it's on a lot of monsters. So basically, if you deal a certain amount of damage to it on your turn within it, it needs to make a con save. If it fails that con save, it throws you.
What if I don't want to leave?
I mean, if you don't want to leave, fair
What if I just, stay inside and there's nothing I can do about it? I'm just there.
I mean,
I am.
if you want to stay inside it,
I am the passenger.
if you do deal a certain amount of damage, it might throw you. Essentially. So if you want to get out, you're looking for damage here. And I think that'd be fairly evident for your characters. If you're inside this thing, you're looking to damage your way out. However, you are blinded and restrained, so things like attack rolls and things like that would be a disadvantage.
Right. Well, when in doubt, you can bonk. Oh, wait. Oh, do I want to use that now? Because it would be like a bonus to use Searing Smite, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be a bonus action to use Searing Smite.
Hit a creature.
You can do it.
That's 1d6. Oh, wait. Do some math. That's 1d6. This is doesn't say. Oh wait. But yeah, it doesn't say.
What are you trying to figure out?
Oh, I'll see. I'll bonk it first.
Just a testy bonk.
Try testy bonk. See how it works.
Sadly, a 15 does not hit. As you're wriggling around in this thing, trying to pull back your arm to get a solid punch. You can't quite. Like it's so tight in here, you can't quite get the angle to make a solid enough hit.
Feel that feeling. Use my hungry jaws. You'll throw yourself into a feeding.
Is that an action or a bonus action? As you've just used your.
Bonus.
Oh, it's a bonus.
Yes, I've been reading.
Oh, boys.
Hey, no, watch out, boys. I don't see fighting button.
So just make a strength check and add your proficiency bonus, so that'd be +5. Just roll strength and add 5. Sadly, that does not hit 11. It would be 1d6 plus your strength damage if you were to hit.
Oh, so same as the Searing Smite, so that's fine.
So Carmen, yeah, you're inside. Maybe some of you guys can see this thing's stomach like wobbling a little bit. Carmen's like moving around inside this very clunky paladin. So yeah, sound this is these two things turn, and this one, the seeing Griffin escape its grasp very elusively, is going to move towards Griffin 5, 10, 15. So it's going to go here. and it's going to make 3 attacks: 2 against Griffin, 1 against Galahad. I think, because also it will have advantage on the Galahad one. Galahad prone. So, first attack against Griffin, 17 misses. Second attack against Griffin is a 24.
Shield.
Shield again. Once again, this radiant shield comes out. Bang, defends. Now to hit Galahad. That is a 22 to hit you, Galahad. Does that hit?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Has advantage. Yeah, no. 22 to hit. Hits you.
Only just.
Only just. My word. That is.
What's the worst you can do?
Oh my god. Fucking face.
I don't think he realizes that whatever it does to you, it's going to get back with some interest.
2, 7, 8, 15 bludgeoning. 15
And
bludgeoning damage.
Let it go, Ben. Don't hold it in.
I always forget it. I've done it so much now. It's like an instant reaction to just do it. So you have 15 bludgeoning damage to you, and you are now grappled by this creature. You cannot move as it's wrapped its tentacle around you, and then it's going to use its tongue, try and slurp you up, try and slurp you in as it's got you grappled.
Galahad, you're having a
Naughty,
rough start to your day.
naughty boy.
Can you please make me a strength saving?
I actually don't think you want this smoke, son. Sorry. I don't think that you want this smoke. Strength save.
Yeah, this tongue wraps around you, but really easily you just just grab the end of the tongue, pull it over your head, almost like pull it back and then let it go, and it just backs into its mouth.
I was imagining this like when a small truck tries to tow a big truck, and small truck just gets towed into the big truck.
Yeah.
Galahad's
Yeah,
trying to pull it, Galahad in, and Galahad's just standing there.
Well, lying there technically, as you are still grappled.
Yeah.
You are grappled on the floor, so you can't move, you can't get up. You know, that involves your speed. That's the only detriment to you.
He's got mad core strength.
He does have mad core strength.
He's fucking fat, is what you meant to say.
Hey, he's 900 years old and metabolism slowed down a bit.
A lot.
He's like a snake. He eats once a week.
This thing is now going to
And I
make
sleep 18 hours a day.
this thing is now going to make some attacks, and I think it's actually going to make attacks. One against everyone, I think. Yeah, one against everyone. That'll be fun. So,
super. Das ist sehr gut.
first against Damien in front of it, that's a 29 to hit.
29 to hit Damien.
Yes.
Welcome back, Damien.
Yeah, that hits.
Damien is grappled.
Damien.
I'll sort out the damage in a bit. This one against Felix, who's prone, so it's with advantage. That's a 27 hit you, Felix, on the ground.
It's gonna hit its buddy.
Labrune's gonna hit his buddy. Does he get any save against that, or is it just?
No, I basically just open like a cloud portal, and the attack just passes straight through it to hit the other thing. Doesn't have to reroll or anything.
I'm assuming that's your reaction.
Yeah, that's my reaction.
All right. With that happening, then I think it might. Oh, will it change tactics and try and go for? No, these are all happening. All these tentacle attacks are happening like pretty much at the same time. So it's not even thought about that sort of thing happening. So we'll deal with the damage for that in a second. But then this last attack goes towards Galahad, who's on the floor. So that is a 25 to hit you, Galahad.
That hits.
So the damage for Damien and Galahad and the other creature, I'm just going to do all the damage is the same. It's 19 points of damage.
For who? Sorry, everyone.
To you, to Damien, and to the other creature, as suddenly like this cloud opens up in front of it, and from nowhere a tentacle just slaps this thing very comedically across the face. Did you get slaps across the face? Let's look around. That's 4, and then it's going to use its last Kong attack against Dame. Yeah, Dame, right? Can Damien make me a strength saving throw?
Yes, you can.
I think
We only have
seeing these.
strong boys here. You get really big and then you become strong. I don't think he does have Ben.
Oh, might not be those then.
There's a bunch of other stuff. But...
Okay. Just make me a strength save.
So
Yeah,
four.
Don't get saving
Plus
throws,
5.
I don't think, Ben. When I was
Saving
looking
throws.
at
That's-
them.
That's a
But
9.
yeah, they get one.
Do
They
they?
get one. Yeah, they get one saving.
Yeah, okay.
He does get +10. Just checked his character sheet for you. But
Oh yes, plus 10. Alright, I see
14.
that now.
a 14 does not succeed, so he goes inside his man.
What does he get +10 from? His strength plus proficiency?
Yeah.
Would he not get Galahad's aura as well on top of that?
Yeah, he would.
Oh, yes, he would.
So make it 17?
Oh, no, 17. 17 does not.
Yeah.
This thing is a very huge, very old, very strong creature.
That's a polite way of Ben saying he didn't like your tone.
Very polite way of Ben saying the Feywild sucks.
So we're gonna get to. I mean, we're very much lining up to like ally with Killian, but we're just gonna get there and be like, just immediately hold him down, chop his head off, and take the sword hill. Deal with your own problems in the Fey. We're not coming back here.
Hey, you guys do what you want to an Arc Fey. Anyway, so Damien has been swallowed, sadly. Felix, it's now your turn. You are on the ground, not grappled,
Okay.
and two people have just swallowed.
Is Alfie within visual range?
Is who within visual range?
Alfie.
Alfie, yes. Yeah, he's in visual range. He's like,
Okay.
just like,
Can I call out to him? Do these things understand us if we say anything? Have you any idea what they are?
Oh, yeah. I think these are froghemoths. Nasty buggers. Do they look like they're gonna bloody understand you?
I don't know. You're a rabbit. You do.
That is a very good point, but no, they won't.
Okay.
No.
Right then. In which case,
You all look like you're doing a good job. I hope
Thanks.
this was worth it.
it wasn't. I am going to stand up.
That's moving.
Now Russian put on the makeup. Heads cut off the checkup. You want to
Yeah, go back up away from the giant frogs. 5, 10,
and
15,
become giant.
25 feet. And I'm going to
Oh,
point
you
at the
fucking
one.
pussy.
That is an attack of opportunity from both of them, as you have
Fuck.
left their melee. They have a 20-foot range with their tentacles.
Oh dear.
This is
That's
bullshit.
That's just on the Froghemoth stat block. I didn't even take that one. I just added to the Froghemoth stat block a couple of things.
I dislike this immensely.
Yes, so the first one is a miss, thankfully. Second one.
I did wonder when they made their first round of attacks. I just thought Ben hadn't moved the token, but they're actually just yeeting it from far away.
Yeah. Imagine these things with just really long tentacles that are almost like trailing behind them. They are also huge creatures. These things are nearly 20 feet tall themselves. Well,
These feel as overpowered as that spell that was used in Fantastic Beasts, where he's just got the Ring of Fire and he's just like, "Oh, you're evaporated. You're evaporated."
yeah, somehow that one's not like a crucial. That one's not illegal.
Also, why did nobody use that before in Harry? Like, why is Voldemort just not walking around?
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, they were sort of desperately trying to sell the films, maybe?
Anyway, the second one does hit you with a 29, 17 on the dice.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do about
that. Cool. So that is God.
Pain and suffering. That's what that is.
16. That's 23 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are grappled within 20 feet of this creature. So I'm going to say
which
there.
creature?
The one.
Well,
the one
okay,
at the
then
top.
I'm going to change
What
my
does he-
target. Sorry, Damien, I'm going to change my target. I'm going to target the one that's grappling me. And I was still going to do what I was going to do. I'm going to attempt to polymorph it into a regular frog.
Into a regular frog.
Yes. So it needs to make a. Sorry, I should have looked at that beforehand. We've never used polymorph offensively.
Wisdom saving throw, I believe.
Yes, new form.
Why the fuck do
yes.
froghemoths? Why do froghemoths have proficiency in wisdom saves?
Oh, because they're dicks.
That seems like the dumbest thing to me. I didn't even know.
You just said frequently they're old creatures.
I mean,
they're very old,
Very
ancient, powerful creatures.
let's see. It also has magic resistance.
What the fuck, Mike?
That is a 19. Even with advantage, I was only dice.
I am unhappy about this.
I am
you
very.
know, fuck it, silvery barbs. I got my reaction back.
So is Layla, apparently. Silvery Barbs needs to roll once more. That's a 9. So this creature, with Kaiman inside its mouth, suddenly turns. And Kaiman, you suddenly find yourself lying down on a. Like I would say, as the effect of this spell shift and twist, contort this being's nature, Kaiman, you are almost like spat out of this. You're spat out of this.
Let's be real, it would pop like a balloon.
Yes,
We
but
don't want that. Then it turns back into itself.
Oh, you should have thought about that.
I'm going to say the benefits of the spell working and the ability working and still use fun. Yeah, it almost like shifts and contorts, and with it almost like ejects Kaiman as its body like shifting and twisting, and then it just forms this tiny little frog on the ground. Great. Good job. It's now a tiny little frog. I need to look at the statistics of a frog. D&D frog. Nope. Comes up with frog. What about D&D? Frog has no effective attacks. Feeds on small insects and typically dwells near water. Freaking great. Hello, Layla.
You can use the wrong.
AC 11, 1 hit point.
Yes, AC 11, 1 hit point. So there we go. That's anything else on your turn, Felix? You're no longer grappled.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the idea of free. Well, I'm trying to free demo, but this one grappled me. So
I'll also probably say it's not very clear in the map. I should have should have think that, but I'd probably say there is a trunk around the sort of corner of this. Also, there is a trunk of this tree. You just can't see it because the map had to go ahead and be all fancy.
So sparkly, glowy.
I know, right? But yes, there's probably a trunk around like there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool. That's your turn.
Actually,
Galahad.
If it's dropped me,
Oh.
can I just move like 5 feet further?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Excellent. Galahad. 'Tis your turn.
I would like to smack the shit out of this thing.
Bring it.
And
Uh,
Galahad took it personally.
oh, boo. Do I get advantage? Because Damien's technically hidden me flanking from the inside.
No, you don't get advantage because Damien's flanking from the inside.
Oh,
I agree with that logic.
I think it makes sense.
This thing, as you begin to sort of like run up and whack it, one of the tentacles just almost like helicopter whirls by, blocking your attack very easily. But you have another attack to try and hit if you would like.
There you go.
As the
31.
tentacle helicopters, does it go?
31 does it.
Cool. I think I can stack smites, right? So I've got my improved divine smite, which is a plus
1d8, yeah.
1d8 anyway. I haven't added that to my sword. I don't know if should have.
I would add that to your sword.
Or
because
just
that
make
is
it 2d8 on the
every-
attack roll.
That is on every single attack that you do.
Okay.
So, like maybe after the session or something, I'll add that to your, or like in the break, I'll add that to your sword for you. But just roll your sword regularly and roll an additional d8 on top of that.
Oh, hello. Plus, I would like to do a blinding smite and a second level smite. Can I do that?
Blinding Smite is a spell you would have had to cast before attacking.
Okay.
Yes, it's
Well,
one
then
spell.
I would like to do a third level smite.
Enough. Third level smite. Roll. That's 4d8. Yeah, 4d8.
Unless these things happen to be undead.
They are not.
Boo.
Oh,
Oh, fiends.
ooh, ooh.
60. Not bad.
Sorry.
That's only 3d8.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Roll one more.
there you go.
Hey,
Hey, 22. 1, 21. Yeah, you with
22,
one attack cleave into this thing's stomach. And from within, you can now kind of just hear this sound of Damien being swallowed. Anything else in your turn?
No.
Cool. At the
What-
beginning of
What does
its turn,
Damien get to do?
Damien takes
dissolve.
2,
Damien gets the delightful pleasure of taking some damage.
so 14. Damien takes 18 points of acid damage at the start of his turn.
What's 78 minus 18? 61?
No, 60.
60.
60. So Damien is blinded and restrained, so he can't move. He can make attacks at disadvantage.
That's what Damien wants to do.
That's pretty much it.
He would like to attack with disadvantage.
Alrighty. Go for it.
Does Damien get flanking because Galahad's on the outside?
Yes!
Sadly, no.
Oh. Hello.
Oh, go on.
Yes.
Does a 28 hit from the inside?
28 definitely hits from the inside. As you can see up close, this thing's pointing at the edge and fucking 14 slashing damage. That's his first attack. He does get a second.
How about a
And
19?
a 19 also hits.
How about a 17?
And 17 damage. What's
That's
15?
that's 2 6s. on the dice.
31. Yeah, that's pretty fucking good. And this thing now needs to actually make a save or throw Damien back up. Oh, that's a tricky one. 1 plus 10. That needs to make up. It needed a 20. Roll the 19. Damien gets thrown back up as Damien stabs through the thing. And you can see the sword then poke out of this thing's stomach. And he just says, and Damien comes out of this thing's gullet, covered in this like green slime and ichor, just completely like drenched in it, as well as like some chunky bits of other stuff this thing has possibly eaten. And he falls prone next to you. Lands very daintily on the floor. But that is Damien's turn. Griffin, we are finally back to you. Or would you like to?
I think you're on mute, Sam.
Oh, yeah, I will cast it. I sneezed. I saved you all. I spared you all hearing that. Yeah, I'll move up there and then I'll cast Hypnotic Pattern, which is a charisma save, DC 17.
Hypnotic pattern. Is it Christmas?
Yeah.
Uh,
Wisdom save, I'm wrong.
wisdom save.
That will change what I do, will it? I swear it was a charisma save. I must be saying something else. What's my class instead? I'll try a hold monster on it.
What monster? What's that say?
Wisdom save.
Wisdom save. Alrighty. I guess. That is a 12 plus 6.
18.
18.
Ah, damn it.
I'm very sorry. As you try and reach out to hold this thing, the tentacles are flailing too much, and its mind is almost too frantic to try and get a hold of to keep it still. And yes, unfortunately, you struggle in grabbing this thing's hold.
Bonus action, quicken spell, firebolt, 26 hits, 25 high damage. Jesus Christ.
Jesus. 20, yeah, 8, 8, 9. That's very, very good. Yeah, very, very nice. And as you hit this thing, firebolt lasts. Actually, I'll ask you, how do you want to do this?
I'm just really pissed off that I tried a peaceful route of using Hold Monster and it hasn't worked. So in my fury, I've unleashed a devastating fireball that has just cut like right through its eye and burrowed through into its head.
Yeah, it's like eyes are like above its head to try and it's like at a weird angle, still like kind of spewing up things onto Damien, and you just into the top of its head. It's firebolt, even just burning parts of its head, and it just slumps. The tentacles are like twitching on the ground as it is dead. But this thing is dead, and I think that is probably a good time for a 5-minute break. It's the end of the round. And one of these things is dead. The other one, the little frog. So, I'll see you guys back there in about 5 minutes. with Kaiman. Kaiman, what would you like to do? You are lying on the ground, no longer in. You're covered in like green, weird slime and chunks of stuff. Next to you, you just hear this. That was my impression of a frog, by the way. Go.
Ridiculous. I leap, I do the crocodile thing where I leap on it and my head goes like,
You do the death roll.
yeah. I'm already in position. I'm prone.
All right, roll to hit a frog, Brian. Roll strength plus proficiency.
21.
Yes, that definitely that's a 19. But that definitely hits.
Oh. What did it say?
So what happens is you leap on this frog, you get it in your mouth, you chomp down, and you twist with your head, and you crunch down, and you just see this crunch of this frog, and it very briefly tastes really good, and then all of a sudden something happens. Your jaw begins to grow and grow, and as you're spinning and turning on the ground, you suddenly find yourself spinning and turning as this thing has turned back into a froghemoth, and you are
So
nibbling on its toe. You are like
I'm
nibbling.
hanging off. But
Yeah. Yeah, you are like nibbling now, like on its leg, like your mouth is just like round its calf, we'll say.
no,
And you're like,
go, go.
but roll 1d6 and add your strength.
I got it right where I want it, guys.
It would be a real shame if some friendly fire were to occur.
2 plus your strength, which is
Might be euthanizing though.
so, but -1 because 1 damage went to it in frog form. So that's 7 damage to the froghemoth, which is now just looking down at you as you're gnawing on its leg. It looks very, very confused at what's going on. And gets over as it looks down. You definitely look like good munching. I'm gonna say it's actually there. Anything
Ow.
up with turn, Kaiman? Any bonus actions? Any movement?
I've used my bonus action.
All right.
I'm trying to find just like a big fuck you spell.
Big fuck you spell. Well,
But
yeah.
who needs a fuck you spell? We've got a fuck you gauntlet. Bam!
Layla did not like that.
Not
Smith,
fun.
yes, that definitely hits. 6 bludgeoning plus 9 fire. 15 points of damage on top. That's just. I mean, are you still like holding on to this thing in your mouth?
Yes.
So you just like punch its thigh.
Yeah, but I'm marijuana.
Nice. So that's 15 damage total.
Hi.
Cool. Its turn now. And it definitely looks down at you. Very confused as to what the fuck's just gone on. But it looks down and doesn't like that you're gnawing on his leg. So it's going to try and whack you. It's going to try and whack Griffin. It's going to try and whack Galahad. So we'll see how this goes. Actually, no, it's not going to do that because it hasn't used its Song of the Pond. So now this one's going to use its Song of the Pond. So can everyone make me a Wisdom saving throw, please? As it gets up and just starts.
That's bad.
That is.
You sound like a. Has anyone seen June?
Like a didgeridoo.
No one's seen June.
Oh yeah, the dude is like, Hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac.
So I don't think it's quite that, but yes.
Galahad, can I get a whiz save from you and Damo, please? But Kaiman, sadly, you fail. Griffin, you pass. Felix, you pass.
That's a foot. It's like,
No rush, Luke.
Sorry, Hattie just came back. I was talking to him. What did I
Okay.
miss?
It's doing the other one is singing its song, so you've got to do a wisdom save for you and Damo.
Ah,
Song of the Pond, which sounds so gentle, but then it's just shouting.
yeah, that's mine. And then let's claim you.
Take a nap, Damo.
Yes,
So sort of like starts cleaning stuff off himself, and he falls asleep. And Kaiman also is like on this thing's car. He also falls asleep.
Naming you don't get the aura.
He
the
does
same
get the aura.
triggers.
Your aura is only +3, which doesn't make it.
Does Damo
80.
not have his own charisma modifier?
Oh no, Damo
Wisdom.
doesn't. Damo doesn't have that ability.
No, but
As,
he must have a charisma modifier as he's a sort of paladin, right?
Yes.
He has charisma +2 plus my +3.
Oh, right. Yes. Sorry, I forgot you just rolled a d20.
So did I.
What's his
But-
what's his wisdom?
His wisdom is +1.
So that's
It's a wisdom
14
save,
plus
isn't it?
1.
Not a charisma save, I don't know what
Yeah.
it was.
So he meets
plus
at
one.
18, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
18. He actually does pass. So he starts to feel a bit weird,
Wait.
but he passes. But Kaiman sadly fails, and with this thing within 5 feet, no, it can't. No, it can't do that. That's all it can do. So yeah, with all of you passing,
back in the stomach.
it sort of stops singing, shakes Kaiman off its leg, and then looks around very confused as to why you're all not dead. And it just gives a heavy, loud roar, and you can see all this spittle and things coming out of its mouth, and it just flails its tentacles all around, thinking it's being very dramatic, but to you guys it looks like a squid having some kind of attack. Anyway, Kaiman, Kaiman, you've gone. This thing's just gone. Felix, what would you like to do?
I would like to give it a nice mind whip.
Mind whip.
Yes. It needs to make an intelligence save, DC 18.
There's a 15. Oh wait, there's an advantage. Nope, 15.
Okay. It takes 12 psychic damage. And it can't take reactions until the end of its next turn. Moreover, on its next turn, it must choose whether it gets a move, an action, or a bonus action. It only gets one of the 3.
Move, action, or bonus action. All right, cool. This is one of them weird situations though where monsters have the multi-attack action, so it's a little bit weird. I'll still say it on the good side.
Well, yeah, but that
Okay.
would be its
Also,
action. It wouldn't be able to move or bonus
Yeah.
action.
Yeah, that's fair. Cool. So yeah, it takes that damage. It sort of squeals in the air, and yes, it can only take that sort of damage. Cool. Anything else from you, Felix?
No, I think I'm good.
Cool. Galahad.
Yes.
Yes.
I suppose I will that quick thing.
Did you move within 5 feet of that mushroom?
No, I went around that mushroom.
Oh,
Sorry?
Oh, did you now?
Ah, yes.
because
No,
forgive me
no.
if I'm wrong here, Luke, but I feel like you just saw smites and run straight for the
I
thing.
feel like And I feel like your character token definitely just went bam.
No, you might have misseen that, but I did an L shape. I may have moved within 5 feet of the mushroom.
Okay, could you make me as you move 5 feet of the mushroom, suddenly the mushroom sort of contracts in and then releases this cloud of gas spores as it makes this strange whistling noise out as it sort of contracts in and then extract out its strange sort of spores of gas. This whistle, by the way, is extremely loud. All of you guys can hear it really, really clearly. It was like ear piercing. Can you make me a con save, Luke?
Yeah.
I think Luke's probably a good
Common
person.
spades, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, pretty good at combat.
So you take half damage from this. You take 10 points of poison damage, and you are not poisoned.
Fantastic.
Uh,
I'm such a lucky boy.
you are such a very lucky boy. Cool. What would you like to do?
To a deck.
Actually, you're in its space, right? Pull you back there or whatever. It's huge, so I guess.
I think I'd rather be there. Further away from the mushroom.
Okay.
If we go
Fine.
one more and get out cozy with Griffin.
I don't want to get that close.
Don't touch me.
He might be in swinging distance.
What would you like to do?
That.
Haven't done anything, have
18 does hit.
we? Oh,
It's a big blubbery creature.
Plus my additional D8, unless you added it in the break.
Oh shit! No, sorry, I didn't. I'll do it after the session now.
17.
So 17. Excellent.
How's it looking?
Still looking okay. Definitely bloody, definitely hurt. Got a few scratches and scrapes, but looking okay.
Can I bonus action? This is such a waste, but can I bonus action something now?
Yeah,
Can I bonus action blinding smite?
yeah, absolutely.
just hope you hit on the next one. Nick.
Yeah.
Once realize it's not dead. Jump. Swing again. Learning.
Holy shit.
I think I hit.
Yeah, definitely think you hit on that one. So what does it need to make? It needs to make a
Death.
Death save.
It needs to make
I feel like it's
Can
con
you-
save, isn't it?
its spell save.
feel like it.
Can you guys see the text in the chat?
Oh, yeah.
Constitution save.
If target must make a con save. It's a pretty decent con. That's 21.
Oh, balance.
But you do deal the extra radiant damage just as standard. So that's 16 plus 11. That's damn good. Now it's looking pretty hurt as you slash it across the stomach, and now this like heavy slash just makes this huge just through its side, and you can see it sort of keel over. Two of its tentacles start wrapping around where it's been hurt. It's really looking desperately hurt now.
Damien doesn't mind getting cozy with Griffin.
He's between his two favourite people.
Oh yeah, uses half his movement to get up, pushes over to this thing.
And he's going to attack. Oh, sugar.
Shocking.
That's so annoying.
Sadly he doesn't. But a 28 still hits.
And again. Oh.
But an 11 doesn't hit. So just roll damage for the first attack.
Wow.
10 damage. Not quite. This thing is like he stabbed his greatsword in, and he gets pretty much tangled into this thing as he gets up and charges in. But it's still just holding on and just leaning. just sort of like keeping itself up. It has to use one of its tentacles to keep itself off the ground, but it is still up. But that does lead us to Griffin, whom I'm thinking is probably going to clean this thing right.
Galahad,
Yes.
don't try and blind the thing. You've got to sing back to it, and I'll cast Thunderous Smite. Think it. Little boy's asleep, isn't he, Simon? Well, not
Carmen's
very little
asleep.
boy. Yeah, Simon's
Yeah,
asleep.
yeah, Carmen's right. Carmen's asleep now.
I will go 5, 10, 15. If I come here, I'll get flanking with Galley,
Why would you get flanking from there?
because that's a diagonal.
It's that is diag. No,
That's
that's
a diagonal. It's not the. You would need to be there for flanking with.
Which one?
Yeah, you would need to be in the water.
I don't know. I don't think I agree.
I think I do. You're there.
It's a dirty diag. Have you ever heard that expression?
You would need to be up there.
Okay, well, if I'm not going to get it, I won't fucking move then. I'll stand here. So I've got my
Griffin
Thunderous
starts to move
Smite going.
around, realizes Galahad's no use. He might as well stay where he is.
I beg this hits. 31. Yeah, boy.
31 definitely hits. Well,
15 slashing damage, and then
15 slashing damage.
from my Thunderous Smite, I believe it's 2d6. He makes a strength saving throw, if that is necessary.
Leave Thunder Smite only affects creatures of large or smaller. It'll still take the damage, but it won't get pushed.
Additionally, if the target is a creature, it must succeed on a strength saving throw. Is it not a creature?
Really? I have not used Thunderous Smite to its fullest capabilities as a paladin. It is a creature. It needs to.
I don't think I've typed that in either. I think that's for Dragon Drop.
All right.
2d6.
It has rolled a 2.
Oh,
Plus 7. So, oh wait, no, it doesn't get advantage. Not that it fucking matters. It's dead. It rolled a 4 with advantage, so 11. Yeah. Griffin, how would you like to do this?
I'm a Froghemoth killer. I would like to think so. I'll tell Galahad, you've got to sing to it, and then I'll like bash the top of my axe, get that thunder going, and then just like one smooth hit, cleave it up in the air. Because it failed its strength save, it just goes flying into the pond.
Yeah, it goes flying about 10, 15 feet back, hits the pond, but with its momentum, it sort of pushes back through the water. And then you just hear this, and all like the air begins to bubble out of this thing, and it just slowly begins to sink until you can see only the top of its like belly, the tentacles, and then slowly the belly dips in. When the dead tentacles dip in, and this creature is just completely gone. Congratulations. Both ancient froghemoths are now dead. The area goes very quiet, apart from the very, very faint sort of the wind far beyond. Seems also, as you look around this space, and it's now quite quiet, you can hear as the wind passes through, there are some wind chimes. People have evidently put up on some of the trees around here. And you can hear the whimpering of this dog in the corner that is licking its wounds and trying to, like, you can see it's like trying to move, and in this whole fight, it's maybe got like 10 feet. Its leg is really, really affecting it. Being able to barely move.
This looks like Kyman's intervention.
Oh, and you hear the snoring of a massive Oxygore.
Is he still asleep
Lizard
after the Thunderous Smite?
Yeah, Thunderous Smite wouldn't affect him. And it is a magical sleep that you need damage or an action to physically wake from.
I'll follow Galahad. I'll kick him as I go past.
Damaged? Nah. Carmen's a blacksmith. He spends all day in the ting, ting, ting. His hearing's gone.
He's already got hearing loss. I understand.
I'm gonna run up to this dog.
Yeah.
Sword out.
It looks at you very much. Yeah, quite scared. Obviously, you're much bigger than it, and it's very, very injured. Make me a animal handling check.
Oh, boo.
5. Yeah, as you come up, start going up to this thing, it begins growling, as if it's, if you get too close, it will probably try and bite. And what's very interesting as well is as you move up to it, there is a sense you can see part of its form almost shimmering, as if part of its form slightly becomes almost like mist and then reforms, and then becomes mist and it reforms, like it's almost trying to do something very, very strange you've never seen before, but it's just too weak to do.
I'm gonna put my sword down and just slowly approach it with my hands out and say to it, like, I mean you no harm, and see if I can get a bit closer.
What's everyone else doing at this point?
Kicking Carmen.
Carmen, you awake with the smell and sound of dead froghemoth.
Did I win?
No, just if you're gonna tag along with us, big crocodile man, when we do something intelligent, don't undo that by being a big buffoon. Why did you try and eat the thing?
It worked, didn't it?
Yes, not through anything you did, though.
Well, the giant dead frog begs to differ.
Oh, waste of time talking to you. If you're hungry, I'd go try one of the mushrooms.
I'll say, Galahad, make another animal handling check, but this time you can have advantage as you're like putting down your weapons, slowly sort of approaching, really showing that you're not you're not a threat.
16. Thank you.
16. Yeah, 16. This thing sort of sees you put down the weapons, and you get the sort of horrible sense that it recognizes what these instruments are, like what a sword is and things like that, and what a shield is. And as you put them down, it does start to feel a little bit more comfortable, and it doesn't push away so much, and it does just let you approach. It's still like doing that dog thing where it's like on its guard very much. It's very carefully watching what you're doing. But it is on its on its guard, but it lets you approach.
You can use lay on hands on other people, can't you?
Yeah, you can use it on anything that has hit points.
Yeah. Can I use my lay on hands and give it 20 hit points?
Yeah. Use your hands, you give it 20 hit points. The wounds across its side immediately begin to heal. The red still there, like that, you can see like the wounds immediately just begin to sort of, I guess, zip themselves together. And the small sort of spear that's in his side almost just like strangely gets slightly pushed out, drops to the floor, and then that wound closes up as well as you heal it to pretty much full. Pain is still definitely going to be there, but it's definitely on the mend, and the dog sort of pushes on its back legs as it suddenly feels a lot better and sort of does a spin in its space, looks up at you, opens its big wide mouth, and a big long tongue comes out, and just starts like nuzzling up to your leg as a sort of thank you. Gives you a bark, starts nuzzling around you.
Give it a scratch behind the ear.
Yeah, you give it a little scratch behind the ear, and it starts like it. You can sense it really, really likes it, and it's starting to like really, really get into it, like that sort of thing where like you're scratching it behind the ear, and it's slowly dropping to the ground, and then suddenly it disappears.
Oh, magic.
And about 30 feet away in a bush, it reappears, and it runs back over to you, putting its ear out to you. Much the same as you've seen your friends do things like Misty Step and things like that, you get the sense that this dog has similar capabilities. similar abilities of misty stepping or blinking, like a blink dog.
Can I go back to the group and tell the dog to come? Here, boy.
Yep. It does follow very sort of, again, very cautiously, but it does follow, keeping a little bit of a distance until you walking, and then it very quickly sort of runs up to you. But yeah, it's chill. It sits by your side, staring at everyone else in the group. What everyone wants to do. Yeah, Alfie's sort of just sat there, just like, well, that was lovely. Can we get back on the road now?
Yeah,
You guys gonna
I
kill
get
anything
reward
else?
for victory there.
Pardon?
What did you say? The
Uh,
most
the reward. You bring me my reward. As I could look.
I'm
Shit.
I'm
Sorry.
not a reward, but that thing spat something out by the looks of it. And he points down to the small wooden thing next to the dead froghemoth over here. Seems that this froghemoth sort of spat something out.
Well, the one that's not in the pond.
The one that's not in the pond, yeah.
Go over and give it an investigate.
Yep. You go give it an investigate, you pick it up, and it's pulled out like a fan. And it's got, but weirdly, it's untouched by the acid and the strange sort of goop inside this thing's stomach. And as you fold it out, there's lots of patterns of wind and clouds over the front of the fan.
Does it feel in any way arcane?
I would say with your natural sort of attunement with the arcane through your axe, you would definitely sense that it doesn't feel arcane, but the fact that it has survived in this thing's stomach and it looks like a regular ordinary fan, like, you know, like with a seemingly paper sort of, you know, like fan bit, yet somehow it's still here. You would sense there's probably something more to this fan.
Felix, do you care to give this a little investigate?
So I can identify that.
Sure. If you would like to do that now, you absolutely can do. This is a wind fan. You can look it up. It's called Wind Fan. While holding this fan, you can use an action to cast the Gust of Wind spell. Once you use the fan, shouldn't be used again until next dawn. Each time it is used again before then, it has a cumulative 20% chance of not working and tearing into useless, non-magical tatters. You can just, grab that, add it to your inventory. Wind Fan. That's interesting little doohickey.
Yeah, I'll identify. I'll tell Griffin what it does and hand it back. Say to the victor go the spoils. I believe this is
It's
the
a
one with
fucking
giant.
fan, mate.
It's about time you got yourself a fan.
I hate you.
And with that, you gather your things, maybe clean yourself off from a little bit. Nathan definitely spent some time using this strange water in the pond to clean himself off of all of this stuff. Again, it smells very, very sweet, almost like a sort of sweet scent of sort of wood scent, mixed with this other sort of sweet, almost candy-like smell. Spends a little bit of time sort of washing that off and climbing as well. I imagine you're really thing. And you can take off any chunks of frog humor that you would like to take with you on the journey of snapping. And you guys can continue on your way. And funnily enough, Galahad, you begin to realize that the dog is following you. As you're walking, it doesn't make it obvious, and it certainly veers off every now and again, and you think, oh okay, it's wandered off. But then it appears again and sort of runs to catch up with you. But this dog does seem to be following you.
Here is some of Kaiman's genius, right? So he's got like one of the tentacles, and he's just wrapped it around his torso, and then like over his shoulder and around. So it's just one giant meat noodle, and it slowly just slopes. You know, and so that's gonna last him most of the day. I'd say.
Most of the day.
So yeah, it's the biggest
Giant
piece.
meat noodle.
It's a little bit rubbery. I'll tell you that for free. It is definitely very, very rubbery. So chewing bits off, you definitely have to gnaw at it a little while. But once you eventually get to the meat, you, as a Croxagore, as a lizard folk who's been eating questionable meals all your life, you know what? It's not bad. They say that frogs in our world taste like chicken. That's not too far off of what this thing tastes like.
If Kaiman's got his smithing gauntlet, if he eats with that, is that like just sort of like nicely searing the outside with every bite?
Yeah, he grabs it with the gauntlet, burns it, so it's
And then just slurps it up. So it's slowly going through the gauntlet and gets heated up. You're like,
I'll tell you what, Ryan, for that imagery alone, you can take an
Yeah.
inspiration point. That is fantastic. That is wonderful.
he is a genius.
Waste not, want not.
Yeah.
Yes, you continue through the Feywild, finding once again several sort of strange sights and weird things. Lots of weird plants that you've never seen before. This one plant that sort of grows out into this almost like disc of petals. Another plant that seems to weirdly spin on its own, and as it spins, it makes that noise of, you know, like when you put something to the rim of a glass, and then like a spoon to the rim of a glass, it creates that sort of strange sound, strange ringing sound. It's almost like that as it spins, and you can see several of these in one space, and as they slowly spin, they create this weird noise that strangely goes with the harmony and orchestra of the forest. And as the sun goes down now, so that most of the trees are giving some this dog creature on there, Father Winston. I love it. Yes, you spend sort of another 2 hours walking before you finally make it to where you need to go. Is there anything anyone would like to do in that sort of 2 hours of walking? Are you trying to does anyone got anything specific they'd like to do or keep an eye out for, or are you simply just walking?
We don't have to RP it, but I'd probably just try and speak to Alfie a little bit about like Killian's character, and in the hopes of negotiating with him, see what kind of person. That's what I'm trying to glean. Like, is he brash? Is he malleable? Stuff like that.
He says
Does he do yoga?
he sort of speaks to you and says that he's a creature of. He's sort of described it as one of the few creatures of quality left in the Singing Vale.
Yeah.
He tells you he is a gentleman of gentlemanly sorts. He is certainly a respectable archfey, more respectable than anything you'd find in the Seelie or Unseelie courts. Quite a handsome man, though he does have, he's called Killian the Shifter, so he can make himself handsome. So that doesn't really count. And what he wants to be, he can certainly be quite powerful and quite intimidating, though in recent times he's not been showing that of late because obviously he's lost a bit. The main thing he doesn't say much, but the main thing he says is sort of, in one of the last creatures of quality you'll find in the Singing Vale, maybe even the whole of the Feywild. This place is gone with the dogs. Pun not intended, by the way. The dog. As you walk, Galahad, the dog now starts pawing at you and trying to nudge at you at your pack, as it can probably smell whatever rations you're holding, and you can see it starts trying to bite at your pack.
I will take out a portion of my day's rations and give it to him.
Take off some rations long term. A little bit of like dried jerky and things like that, which it happily laps up, which now makes it only want more, and it comes after you again, and again, and again. But in the end, you finally make it to where Alfie says that you should be going. And you arrive at this clearing, this large clearing of trees. It's sort of about 60 feet by 60 feet of open space. And Alfie sort of stops at the edge of the clearing and says, all right, here you are. It should just be through that gateway over there. And you can see on the other side of the clearing, there is a circular stone gate and 4 statues next to the gate, each one with a gong on the front of the statue. It says, this is a hiding place. I don't know what those statues mean or what that gate means. It doesn't seem to lead anywhere. I said, it is literally just a gateway that doesn't seem to lead anywhere, just like you can see through it. There's some writing on the top of the gateway, but to see that you'd have to get closer into the clearing. And he says, all right, well, I believe this is the deal done. Thank you very much. This is where I drop you off. Remember, Alfie Vivalinx sent you here. My debt paid. All that stuff. Remember that? We made a deal. And I wish you well with Killian. Should be a right laugh, if nothing else. Right. Thanks very much, gents. Howdy do. Comes around, going, starts bouncing away. And as he reaches sort of about 60 feet away from you, he bounces behind a tree and does not emerge from the other side. So, you're in this clearing, 4 statues, and a circular gateway that leads to nowhere, but with some text atop the gateway. And here is what those statues look like and what this gateway says. The gateway says, one day, 4 bards passed through the singing vale. The first to travel dared not march front. The second, beside the first, laid a woeful lament. The third, close to his faithful familiar. The fourth, marched not beside the first, yet like the second, played a tune. In front of each of these statues is a gong, well, like a large cymbal made of brass.
Say that again.
So in front of each of these statues is a large brass symbol. You can see on the screen, over the circular gateway, which seemingly leads to nowhere, you can see that it says, one day, 4 bards passed through the singing vale. The first to travel dared not march front. The second, beside the first, played a woeful lament. The third, close to his faithful familiar. The fourth, marched not beside the first, yet like the second, played a tune.
And there's gongs. So I guess we've got to take the gongs in a certain order.
Indeed.
The first to march dared not. The first travel dared not march at the front. Third, get close.
Four bars travel through the singing vale. First travel dared not to march. The first to travel dared not to march at the front.
The chicken.
The arrangement of these statues, Ben.
Yeah.
Are they in a line like this picture is?
Yeah, they are. They are in a line. So if you imagine A and B are one side of the gateway, C and D are the other side of the gateway.
But they all so
But they're all
facing the same way.
Yeah, they're all facing the same way.
so
So
you've got
line
like,
one can't
the
be
gate
D then.
is in the middle there like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first to travel dared not to march at the front.
So that's
So
A, B, or C.
yeah, so
I think D.
What?
I think D.
D's at the front though.
Yeah.
Don't yeah me.
the line is the first to travel dared not march at the front.
Yes,
From
the
that-
first gong to strike.
Yeah, so from that I take the first gong strike is not D.
So I think it must be C because there are two more that play instruments later in. So C must be the first one.
The second, beside the first, played a woeful lament. So the second one is either A or B.
Yeah.
Okay.
The third kept close to his faithful
Faithful
familiar, so that's
familiar.
D or A. And the fourth march not beside the first. Yeah, like the second played a tune.
So the fourth, much not beside the first. So the fourth is not next to.
Who's purple? Ryan, are you purple?
Yes.
Yeah,
What have you written on there?
because I think B's 4, the fourth.
The fourth, much not beside the first, yet like the second, played a tune.
There's a mention of.
Are we all in tune way that the first line is C? That makes sense.
First to travel dared not to march at the front. How are you
So that-
getting? How are you eliminating A and B?
A
from
and B.
that?
Because there's ones that play music later.
The second beside the first.
Second line plays a woeful lament, and then the fourth line plays a
So-
tune.
Yeah, so the second who stands beside the first. So yes, I agree. I think you're right. That it
Oh,
is
that's B then.
C B. So if
And then it
that
must be
C,
DA.
D A. Yeah, I think you're right there.
Who wants to bang the gongs?
Oh wait. So one.
C1, B2,
Three.
D3. Yeah, A4.
Yeah, that's it.
My favourite paper size.
That
Yeah.
that the one you're going with?
Yes.
All right. Who's banging the gongs?
Me.
All right. I'm assuming that you're punching them with your
Yes.
So Simon walks up to see. Bong. That's it. Plays a gong with the tuned to a C. As he hits it. Bong. 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 And then each of the gongs light up. The words on the gate light up. The stones on the gate each turn and twist 180 degrees. These stone bricks, which sort of form this circle, each twist in on themselves. And
Sorry, it's just a delete.
and suddenly the gateway fills with bright, blinding white light. Would you like to step into the light?
Yes.
Yeah. Before we do this, does anyone feel like this is
Oh.
too easy and a trap?
Maybe, but I feel like Killian is a bit desperate. So I think
Yeah. No, I feel
it's not like you would have a lot of protect.
From what we've learned, the Killian would be receptive. I'm just not convinced that whether or not Alfie's brought us to the right place, and whether we're actually going to meet Killian or some other entity that he owes a debt to.
Mm. I mean, didn't you insight check him, Neil? It seemed.
Yeah, and I've been racking my brain and I can't remember what I learned.
You insight checked him when he made that promise, and he's a fey creature, which is pretty good at lying. But you didn't seem to get any. He seemed confident of what he was saying, and therefore you assumed that it might be a truth. And he said, "I promise I won't trick you or swindle you anymore." And from that, you seemed confident that he would somewhat keep to his word. Though from what you've learned with some of his tricks is maybe wording, obviously a thing you need to think about. But he said he won't trick you anymore.
I also feel like it is as cut and dry as people liked Killian being in charge. People don't like the mother being in charge. So maybe for a shot at potentially getting Killian some help, he might have brought us to the right place. You know.
Yeah, I don't trust him.
That's fair. Carmen, do you want to hop through that gate?
I shall go first. Fear not, paladin.
Oh, paladin. That's the nicest.
I got it.
Oh no, you made on the cross.
Just like, oh, do you want to go first? He's already walking. Yeah, you walk into the blinding light. It is literally blinding light. You cannot see anything from it when you just close your eyes. It really, really hurts. Literally like staring at the sun for like.
Covering my eyes with the tentacle.
It really, really hurts. And then you open your eyes. What do the rest of you do?
What's happened to Carmen?
You don't know yet.
Hold the eulogy.
None of you guys know yet, anyway.
Well, no, he's got into the gate, isn't he?
Yeah, he has gone into the gate.
So has he just disappeared?
He's disappeared into the white light.
He's gonna need help.
In for a copper and for a gold.
Yeah. Run!
You're running.
Run.
You're running cautiously. You note, Galahad, that your dog does not run in, but it just sits and seems to sort of whine and almost cry a little bit as you're walking into this.
Can I throw out some jerky and say, "Stay, boy"?
Yeah. Make another animal handling check.
Oh, this is gonna get badly.
I'll give you advantage because of the jerky.
12.
Well, okay. It eats up the jerky. You don't know whether it'll work or not, but it's certainly sitting here at the minute eating jerky.
Great.
Cool. You wander in. Eyes are blinded by this light. You have to close your eyes and rub them and cover them. Damien as well. All of you just you covering your eyes, and then as you slowly open them back again, you appear to be in the same place. Except the trees and everything around you is blurred. Everything beyond the edges of the finely trimmed, like evenly, perfectly, finely trimmed grass of this clearing is blurred. Like literally someone has applied like Gaussian blur. to the whole area. And now, sat in the center of the area where there was not before, are two creatures. The first, lying on its side, lazing about for the day, is a large white horse with a beautiful silver mane. And as it looks up at you, you can see that it has a large metal twirled horn on the top of its head. Interesting. It is lying there and almost gives you a look of, and you don't even need an insight check for this, it gives you a look of, please help me. But in an almost like sarcastic sense, as immediately the first thing you hear as you walk in is from the second creature. The second creature is an elven-looking individual, long pointy ears, bright sort of red hair, flows like slicked back over the back of his head, with several sort of braided adornments down sort of the back of his head and down the side of his head as well. You notice that his hair, as I said, is bright red, but his skin is marble white, like pure white, no color in it at all. He looks a handsome fellow, though you can't see his face, as buried in the side of this horse and in its hand. This individual is literally lying over the side of this horse, crying into its belly, like a child would cry into the arms of their mother. He wears a small sort of green cape, sort of down to his lower back, and a sort of somewhat fancy robe, sort of silk trousers and boots, all of which is like fairly dirty. There's a little bit of a smell in here, smell of a little bit of BO and different. And the horse has noticed you, or this creature has noticed you. The creature crying into the horse has not. It hasn't even looked up. It is just openly and very, very loudly wailing beside of this horse.
Good day. What befalls you, sir? Why do you weep like this?
He gets up, and you can see a very handsome elven figure with very pointed features, sort of slightly pointed chin and nose, but also like cheekbones, and yeah, really quite handsome. Got thin lips, quite large red eyes. You notice its hair; it's like red hair, and his eyes are the only point of color over his like body. His clothes are colorful. His clothes are sort of like green and gold, green with gold accents. But his skin is marble white with bright red eyes, bright red hair, and tears like streaming down his face. And he goes, who are you?
I'm Sir Galahad of the Sun Guards. These are my traveling companions, Felix, Griffin, and Crocodile Man.
Damien.
And Damien.
Damien gives you like a nudge at the elbow. I see. So would you just give me one moment? Valdo, you wanted to kill me, right?
It
Depends.
depends, who are you?
Oh no, please. Turns around and he sort of says to himself, like, he doesn't say this quietly either. You can all hear this. Get yourselves together. It's people's fault. The Force. looks toward you. Right. Stands up straight. Turns, and as he turns and golden, like bright red dust seems to flow around him as he turns. And when he turns back to you, he appears as a very handsome, tall, strong, elven individual. Like this very, very lean, tall, like Adonis kind of elven individual. My name is Killian the Shifter.
There's that.
Your most humble service, as long as you're not here to kill me.
That's just the man we want.
No.
We come on a mission from your friend.
I have many friends. Which one might you be referencing?
The black-haired raven beauty.
You come from the Raven Queen?
Yes.
I think so.
She said she gave you something a long time ago, and we are here to collect it.
As he cries, like red dust pours out of his eyes over him. The entire like Adonis thing falls off, and he becomes this marble white individual again. He falls into the side of the creature that was now just about to start getting up, until he falls into its side and just collapses and wails, like really, really loudly wails, crying into its side again. And it just sort of accepts its place, like this horse thing just sort of looks back and goes, "Oh, I guess I'm not getting up." Yeah, as this thing is crying into its side.
Can I try casting command?
You can. How much I go follow your command next time? The spell has. Yeah. Needs to succeed in a wisdom saving throw. Okay. He passes.
Oh, good. Of course he does.
What
enough.
do you say on the command?
Relent.
Relent.
Like his crying and such.
I see. No. You try and command out to him, but he just keeps crying. He is there for 30 seconds openly.
I'll walk up to him and just like put a hand on his back and just give him a little stroke.
Yeah. That clearly does seem to calm him down a little bit. He stops openly wailing, and now it's just like a silent muffling. That's very nice of you. Giving you what? Giving you that item would be very, very difficult at this time.
Griffin really misreading this as a good cop, bad cop act with Felix will come steaming in and just sort of grab him by the lapels and say, "Get it together, man."
Yes. Of course. Mr. aasimar, sir. Apologies. Yes. I apologize. It'd be very difficult to give that to you right now.
Why will it be difficult?
Well, it would have in a very upset mood.
Oh,
The
shit.
mother, the creature named the mother. I'm assuming you might have heard of her by now if you've travelled here.
We are a little bit aware of the situation, yes.
Clean up down here.
Her necklace, her children, and her stole my crown. And they took everything I have away. All of my things.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'd heard you were a mighty being.
They stole everything I owned. I kept it in the chorus grove. That was my home. My lovely bed in my gardens. Oh, my gardens. And this picture in the volunteer secondary. Everything I have is there, but I'm not allowed back there.
Can I shake him
Yeah,
and
Okay.
say,
Jacob.
possessions do not make the man. Action does.
Well, if I take any action against them, I've been banished from that place. The mother is powerful. She's placed wards. I can't go back.
We can. Direct us how to get there. Inform us of her weaknesses.
Yes. If the Raven Queen said you all must be very, very strong individuals. Yes.
I am the greatest paladin to ever walk Ambyr.
I have no doubt about it, sir. You wear the sun. You wear Palladian. You must be very strong. Yes. Yes. Go to the heart of the Singing Vale. There you will find where the leaves turn more purple. If they begin turning more green, you're going further away. The heart of the Singing Vale is where the chorus grove lies. My beautiful home with my lovely bed and my carpets. Anyway, inside, you will find my crown. You need not harm the mother. You need not anything. You need only to take the crown. It might be guarded, but you look like very capable individual. Look at his armor. Oh, and he sort of like runs a finger down at the side of your armor. Little shiny.
Focus, Killian. What happens if we get the crown?
Once you get the crown, reaches into his pocket and pulls out these small, almost like plums. Take these. Just take a bite of them, and I will take you back to me, back here. That's all you need. All you need to do. Grab the crown, eat the plum. Take a bite out of the plum. Don't eat it all. It can still be reused. And then that'll be done. I can place upon my head the crown again, and I will be ruler of the Singing Vale. And then I can very easily get you what you want. Yes.
Okay. What happens to the problem of the mother and her children? Does that just go away if you get your crown, or?
If I get my crown, I will be able to banish them from these lands very easily, place protective wards, pushing them from this place. I was sympathetic to them. I allowed them to roam within these lands freely, but no more. I think this has definitely crossed some sort of line. I mean, who just comes in and takes one's home, takes a queen? It's so pretty. I should take something like that to it. Oh, and before I forget, there will be two large trees guarding the. There's only one way in and out of the grove. Two large trees guard it. Their names are Rhythm and Rhyme. They will ask you a riddle. I believe the answer is berry fruit. Berry fruit. That exact word. Berry fruit. Or was. Oh, And you probably might not know this. Whatever you do, don't go into the purple garden when you're going through the Chorus Grove. I wouldn't go in there. My more experimental gardening.
Sorry, what was
You
the
mortal
answer to that
space.
riddle? Was it, sorry, do you say berry fruit or fairy fruit?
Berry fruit.
Berry with a B.
Yes, berry with a B.
And don't go into your experimental purple garden?
Yes, do not go into the purple garden. All the other gardens are fine, but not the purple one. That's
Is
why
it purple like crystals, or
it's purple. I gather all my purple things in there.
oh, good.
When I'm not here, I like to keep things neat and in their place, if you understand me.
What sort of experimental creatures did you keep in there?
Oh, you know, odds and ends, plants and different things. Purple plants, purple things, but some purple plants are a little more sentient than others, and some of those purple crystals that I would not recommend you touch. They're quite horrid, quite horrid.
Okay, so purple plant creatures dangerous.
Yes, or at least the ones in there are. Maybe don't single out all purple plant creatures. Some might be quite nice.
Okay.
Right.
Where's the guarantee that if we bring you back your crown, you'll honour us? Sounds like the crown gives you power.
Well, did the Raven Queen give you some kind of symbol to identify that
Yeah, I'll pull out the little figurine.
right there is your guarantee? Otherwise, I'll have her on my back, and well, no one wants the Raven Queen after them. I can tell you that for certain. We're good friends, her and I, but you should not see her in a temple. She is very terrifying. I promise. Promise on a phase heart. And he crosses his heart. Bring the crown to me. You get your you get your blade.
Okay. And you're certain there's only one entrance? You didn't have any secret entrances in and out that only you knew about?
Oh no! I like to know where people are coming from in my grove. There may be some ways through. I can tell you the red garden is, well, probably a little easier to traverse than the green garden. I can tell you that much for sure right now. I would maybe put a few more layers on if you're going to go into the white garden. Yes, I think that's about all I can say. The mother is a very powerful entity. She may have changed some things in my absence. Obviously, it is her home now. She's every right to change things as much of a right she has to steal my home, the wicked wench. To you, I feel a sudden sense of hope. Wonderful hope. Something I've not felt in a little while. Ooh. Oh, can we just promise that we don't tell the Raven Queen about this little hiccup? Maybe we could keep that just between us guys, hey? Between us gentlemen. And
As long as
whatever.
everything goes smoothly.
Fantastic. Yes. All right.
Bless you, Killian.
Thank you. All right. Well, if you needed to rest here, I think outside the grove it is becoming a what I think you people call night with your moon. Did I get that correctly?
Yeah.
Interesting. If you needed to rest here, you you can do, or if you wanted to make a start right now, you obviously can do as well. But what would be better?
How far is it to the grove?
Oh, it is a little while. Probably a day's travel. If you were to leave there tomorrow morning, I think you could make it there by late afternoon. With a good pace and quick timing. Yes. I think it would be rather lovely. I must say, expect such a wonderful array of individuals to come and help me. This has made me quite hopeful.
Have you got anything else that might help us?
Anything else that might help? Unfortunately, as I said, she. Oh, stole everything I. Well,
Right. I'm sorry, I
think
was just
we-
led to believe a powerful being such as yourself was not solely reliant on possessions for their power. Maybe just a misconception about the Fae.
I think it might have been. And unfortunately, there's nothing I can. Well, I have powers, but I cannot give you my powers. I mean, those unfortunately rely with me. And the last time I tried something like that, the individual did go quite mad. I unfortunately the only things I currently own are what is upon my person. Would you like my little cape?
No,
Doesn't
it's
do much.
all right. You can keep that.
Thank you. I quite like my little cape.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess we need to decide whether or not we're going to stay here or whether we're going to make a bit of progress and rest in the wild.
I think we stay here. If it's that sort of time.
Okay.
What about everyone
Cool.
else? What do you think? Kaiman? Galahad? Damo?
I think we rest here.
Me too, says Damien.
Kaiman's
Sorry.
sleeping. Okay.
That's the last bit of tentacle that just went in.
Yeah, Kaiman's got sleepy belly now, probably after all that tentacle. He's got the food sleeps.
Yeah.
What's the horse doing? Has it managed to break away at all now that we've removed Killian?
Yes, the horned horse, which I will say, like obviously, much like in our world, in Amber, unicorns are a bit like dragons. Like no one has really seen one, but supposedly they're a thing. You know, they're a thing enough for people to name things after unicorns. You know, certain things need like it is probably known to you, Felix, as a wizard. Like some things require like a unicorn's hair or unicorn's blood. So they are real. They are things. They're just very difficult to find and very difficult to track down and things like that. No one really knows where they are, if there are any in Amber. No one knows, but they are a thing. So make a best guess that this is possibly a unicorn. And it has finally got up, sort of stretched its legs out a little bit, turns around. Yeah, just starts sort of like wandering around this local area. Like, this is like a just clearing of grass. There's nothing really here, so it just wanders around. It has, yes, finally got up. Yes, you're all welcome to stay here for the evening. Killian can, thankfully, cast a spell, so we can provide you with food and things like that. We can create food and water and provide you with a decent meal for the evening. And if you want, you can all bed down, take a long rest, and and if there's, we'll probably go to if there's anything anyone wants to do over the long rest next session. But yeah, we'll pick up next session with you guys if there's anything anyone needs to do or wants to do over the long rest. Otherwise, you can awaken and get on with your day, as well as we can roll a whole new set of Feywild changes with the D10s to see if anything else potentially happens to your characters. Does anyone else grow rabbit ears? Do people's skin change color? People's eyes change color? People get bigger or smaller? Who knows?
If you get the same thing, does it get stronger or do you roll again?
If you get the same thing, you roll again. We'll say there is.
So there's no saving yourself. It just
There is
gets
saving
worse.
us. Roll a 10. Roll a 10, nothing happens.
That's so like if someone like because whenever I move, there's just like clouds that
Yeah, there's this
Dust.
weird dust. So just
if eventually like
Killian can fix
if
this.
just run like in front of everyone, like cut them everyone off. There's just a wall of dust that no one can see. So using it kind of like the spell darkness dust.
just like focusing.
Or if someone has bunny ears, the ears just get so long they touch the ground.
I mean, Galahad's got. I would like to know like what Galahad's done with his hair by now. If it's 10 times as long as it was.
Oh, he's got it in a man bun.
Nice. Respect.
Somehow he
Cool.
looks younger.
He's got like really big glasses on. Like trimmed his beard really sharply.
It's the healthiest his hair's looked in years.
It actually is like, as well as making it longer, it seems to have like, made it like shampoo, condition, volumized the whole nine. Yes, I think we'll go ahead and end the session there. Thank you all very very much for joining me this week. I hope you enjoyed this this other adventure in the Feywild. Just a heads up on how this travel is probably going to work. I think we're probably going to bring back in the card game that we did before for traveling. So obviously, like just to do some travel, but somewhat, expedited travel. So, right turns, wrong turns, encounters, and potential monsters you can find as well. And once you get to the Chorus Grove, working that from there.
Sounds good.